or filing his nails with a scrap of sandpaper, his nostrils narrowed in concentration. Behind him was the storehouse, where he kept most of the goods, groceries, toiletries, housewares. Under the counter in front of him were the grain and jaggery in big jute sacks, and the cooking oil in an aluminium tin. On the countertop he displayed items meant to draw the attention of people passing by. He kept his jars of sweets there, for instance, and now that school had ended, children pushed past Radha and lingered in front of the counter, ogling the treats that sat just out of their reach. "Are you going to buy some?" the shopkeeper wheezed at them. He never stopped wheezing, a condition that, because he was a mean man, inspired revulsion rather than compassion. "If not, get out of here!" But a curly-haired boy produced a scarred little coin and asked what he could get for it, and the shopkeeper sighed and began haggling. The rest of the children crowded around, offering their advice about the best use of the coin. And now Radha swiftly grabbed one of the soap tins, stuck it in her armpit where no one could see it, and ducked around the corner. Once out of the shopkeeper's sight, she ran past her house, which doubled as her father's school for Dalit children, to the Muslim graveyard. The roofed, four-arched stone structure in the centre had always been her secret hiding spot. Most people avoided the graveyard, that deathful place, but Radha feared nothing. She was a wild-haired, big-boned, dark-skinned girl. She intimidated people. She knew this. It was partly because Appaya, her father, was a headmaster, and partly because she had brains and an inborn imperiousness. The village store, with its occasional imports from other lands, was the closest Radha had gotten to a more cosmopolitan life, but soon she had determined she would move to Rajamundry. She had applied to the teachers' college there. For someone like her to be accepted, a girl, a Dalit, would be unusual. But her father had connections, and she was sure that when she told him of her plans, he would help execute them. She would leave him behind, and her sister. They both doted on her, but her father and sister had never understood each other. She imagined them living, after she left, in embarrassed silence, neither able to begin a conversation that wasn't about her. Still, it gave her only a slight pang of guilt. She'd always had the feeling greatness was in store for her. She was, after all, King Rao's mother-to-be. So, the air of death that lingered in the graveyard did not faze Radha. She and her younger sister Sita had grown up playing there. Now, crouching in a corner of the structure and making as little noise as she could, Radha unboxed the soap and carefully peeled off its paper wrapping so she could get a better look and feel. She'd never committed such an act as this. But what had she done, exactly? She didn't consider it stealing because she planned to return the item. The soap was cool and light in her palm. It had rounded sides and the loveliest colour, clear but with a deep amber tint, like an amulet that belonged at the breast of an ancient queen. She turned the soap around in her hand, enthralled. It was the advertisements on the radio and billboards promising that pears could turn bad skin good that had made her so desirous. When she lived in a hostel in Rajamundry, she decided she would bathe with one of these. What Radha wouldn't have realized, but I can't help but remark upon, is that Pears had been selling its soaps across the British Empire for a long time. In 1899, at the height of British colonialism, one advertisement had read, "The first step towards lightening the white man's burden is through teaching the virtues of cleanliness. Pears soap is a potent factor in brightening the dark corners of the earth as civilized..."